Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Something we haven't seen for an absolute age. We're going to be doing the next 3 stages and build the Fanhome release of the Megazord. The mighty Morphin Power Rangers Megazord. Now we haven't seen this for so long, so I'm just going to review what we did in pack 1. So here are the parts that we did in pack 1. We've got this area here. We did start to make the head section here. I believe we might be continuing that today. As you can see, we've got all parts of that still in pieces in this box here. So everything you see here is what we did in the first pack. So today we are going to be tackling 3 stages, stages 3 to 5. Now, we do get batteries in the packs for these, but other YouTube creators have actually done these 3 stages and gave me some advice. Do not use the batteries that come in the pack. There is some loose batteries in the pack. As a matter of fact, they look like this. These are the batteries that we need to use. If you use the batteries that are in the pack, apparently you're going to have a bad time. So I thought I'd just share that with you now. Now, if you do want to get this for yourself, you will have to check if this is still available. I have put a link in the video description, and there's also that QR code on the screen. But without further ado, let's get cracking. So we're going to start with stage 3, and as you can see, we're going to do the mask and the horn. So we are going to be continuing that head section, and here's one of those batteries that I was on about. So we don't use the one in the pack. We are going to be using the one that comes loose, but we're actually putting all of this together here. So by the end, this is how it's looking, and this is the rest of the magazine. Once again, each stage does come with its own magazine. God, this takes me back. And everything for stage 3 is in this pack here. So let's get this open. So as I mentioned, so I don't get confused, I'm going to keep this battery in a completely different place so I don't confuse that with the new ones that I've got. But this is everything we got here. So first thing we need is one of these horns here with the black line here and this metal plate. And it's going to be going in this way round. So it's going to fit quite flush in there, just like that. Now it's going to be held in with PWM 314 screws. Trouble is that none of these screws are labelled. Now, the easiest way to identify them is they are the longest flanged silver screw. We do have some flanged silver screws here. They're slightly shorter, so that's how you can differentiate by the ones you want. So I've already sorted them out. I've got one of the ones here. Let's get this in. Now we need 2 of these screws. It has added this nice level of difficulty for you by not labelling up these screws. Here's the second one here. And once we've done that, while I'm doing this at the same time, I'm going to do the same on the other side, which I am aware is completely out of sync with the instructions, but it just means that I'm not going to confuse any more of these screws up. The next thing to do is to take this piece here, and that's going to be going into the other vacant holes we got here. We do have a locating lug, so that's going to go in like this. So it's sitting in just like that. So it looks like a crown of a head, if you like. I'm holding that in with the 3.12 km screws. Now these are silver screws looking like this without a flange on them. So just get that in here. On the other side here, I've got another one to go in exactly the same way, slightly more spaced out this one is. So the lug goes into the larger hole, just like that. Once again, one of those silver unflanged screws to screw that in. Perfect. So we've got 2 parts looking just like that. Put them to one side. Now I'm bringing over this bracket, and we do have, get my tweezers out here, a ribbon cable, which is blue, black and red. There we go, my colour blindness can see that. We want to put the bigger connection here through the hole, so it's going in this way. If we're holding that like that, the bigger connection, matter of fact, that's the bigger one, is going through that side just there like that. I've then got this triangular piece, which looks to have some LEDs on it, which has its own plug, as you can see. I want the LEDs to be facing upwards, so this is going to be going kind of like that. There. I want the LEDs to be faced upwards, and I'm going to be attaching this to the top just here. Now, thanks to Will's workshop, he's advised me to take this ribbon and pass that through there as well. So that's going to sit like that. Now I'm going to be screwing that in with one of the black screws that we've got. So looking like this. I've then got this sort of like foam material with some adhesive on the back, which I'm going to take off. Bring over one of these replacement batteries we've got. Just cut that open without cutting any of the wires in there. And I'm going to want to put this foam with the lead coming out my right hand side there over the top of this, then wrap it round so it comes out the other side there. So now that's encased in that foam. Now we need to bring over a part from the last pack, which is this mouthpiece here, and slot the battery into the mouthpiece, just like that. Okay, once the battery's in there, we're going to be taking what we've created here, and this is going to go on top of this section, just like this way round with this black section here, got the batteries trying to move, onto this section here. So what's going to happen is the lights are now where the eyes are. We've got this plug here coming up, and it's going to sit in like that. Now I'm actually securing that into place with some of the shorter flange screws. That's the silver ones here. So one each side, one there, and just one at the other side here. Perfect. So when you attach this in, you do want to make sure all the leads come out of that hole there. So I'm just going to tighten this up now. You will notice that I've already put the eyes in. The eyes just slot in the front. I just wanted to give it a guide of how they actually look. But there we go. That's in like that. And the wires are coming out the side there. Then I'm going to be putting this top piece in, which means I just need to thread the larger wire through the tops, going around this way with the lugs facing up, over, probably best on the top camera, these two holes here. So the two holes there are going to line up here. When I put this in, I want to put it in at an angle at the front so that it slots back on itself. So that's how the front's going to look. So there's no gap there. Now they're held in with normal silver screws. They look like this. They haven't got a flange on. Screw this in and do the same on the other side. Perfect. So I like that. That's how that looks. Right, next bit, going to be fun. I'm going to be putting this neck piece in place. Now, the neck is basically going to be going on this way over here, but we've got some holes just in the bottom here where I need to direct these leads in. So the smaller red and black plug is going to be coming out of this side, and the other two are going to be coming out of this side. So when I put this on, I need to make sure they're threaded through the right ways. So I'll get these in now. 1, 2. That's that side. And then this one on this side, just there. Now they're held in once again with the shorter of the flanged silver screws. But that is perfectly in place. I've got them here. So one this side and one this side. So with that in place, that's how that's looking. We've got the horns. That's all there is to do in that stage. So I've already had to have a look at stage 4 to figure out where these wires go here. That really should have been in the last stage. But this is the stage 4 magazine. And as you can see, we're going to be starting the Sabertooth's Tiger's head, but we're also going to complete the Megazord. We do have a remote control in here as well. So this is going to all go into place. So by the end of it, we have got a working Megazord head, as you can see there. And then we've started Sabertooth. Here's the rest of the magazine. Excellent. Another big box this time. Look at that. With the remote, with 21 different buttons on it. Crazy. So I'm going to keep all the parts in here because there's quite a few little parts, but I do have a switch. Tiny bit of plastic looking like this. bringing over this next section, that switch is just going to go into the hole, probably best on the top camera that you can see just there. Now I'll hold it with my fingers, but that's how that's going to look when it's in there. Okay, I do have this circuit board now. Now I'm guessing that switch is going to fall out because it's only in there loose at the moment, but I do need to plug all the leads into this circuit board. So the ribbon one goes in the middle. The bigger plug, red and black, goes on this side, which means the smaller one just goes into this side here. So there you go, that's all three of those plugs in place. The switch that we put in is going to operate this button on the side just here. So my switch has just fallen out. When we push this down into position here, I want to make sure it pushes back along that switch. So there you go, that's in there like that. Just checking that switch pushes, which it does. I'm holding that in with PWB black screws. These are flanged black screws that are in here. And I need 2 of these. I dare not take my hand off because I don't want that switch to fall out. So one there. And one just on the other side over here. That's good. Once again, just checking the switch works, which it does. And that's where we can charge it there through the charging cable. And they do provide a cable here. Now on the other side in this crescent here, right the way back into issue 2, we got this crescent here. That's going to hide all of that there, just like that. Once again, that's held in with those same flanged black screws. Now I'm just tucking all the wires in, so there's no wires in this area here. Doesn't say to do that. I just think it just makes good practice. Okay, we have got this spindle here. This is metal. We're going to be putting some O-rings on this. So I've got some rubber O-rings in this bag. So one of these goes on the ring just at the bottom. So I'm going to put that over the top and roll that down. So that's in position. Another one's going in the middle, like that. And then I'm going to be taking this base section here, passing this metal rod all the way through. So it's coming up like that. Then I'm going to put what we've created of the head on next. So that's going to go in there. Just like that. So that can turn. Then I've got this side of the horn, which is going to go in next. Just like that there. Put the last O-ring over the top. Perfect. Take the other horn now. That's going to go over the top of that there. Make sure it's straight. So check that at the back here to make sure that's nice and flush. And then I'm going to be just taking this top bit here. But what I do want to do is I want to thread this plug in first. Make sure that's connected. And remember that plug is basically operating the remote control. And then piece the top section once that's into position just like that. So that's what the front of the head is now looking like. Now I want to hold this whole thing together, which means I need a 4.14 screw, which is the largest of the screws that we got there. And I do need one of these split washers or lock washers, or God, they've got different names. So with that on, I know everything's straight and I'm holding the sides in. I'm going to screw that in from the bottom with that. Make sure that's nice and tight. Excellent. And with that done, you just want to check that these horns can go back like that, which they can, and forward like that. Excellent. Now we do have a remote control, which I don't know how it works. They haven't asked us to check it, and obviously they haven't asked us to charge the battery either, so I'm going to charge the battery anyway to make sure this works. I am aware that I won't be turning this on yet, but let me put this in. I know it's charging because if I just turn this off, you can see the lights light up. So we have got a charging head there. That's good news. Excellent. Okay, we're going to start Sabertooth's head now. I'm going to lay out these parts, and once again, most of these parts that you're seeing me take out here are metal. So I want to take the right hand side of the head first, looking like this. And I do have a right eye that I'm going to be putting in. This is what the eye looks like. So it's going to go over that point there and the lug. So the eye's looking like that from that side. Pretty cool. Right, that's going to be held in with a PWM screw. Now that one is the silver ones in this bag that we've got left, which I hadn't opened yet. They kind of look like that. Screw that in here. That's the eye in. Now in the earpiece here, I've got this little bit of black plastic which pushes in. Got a lug on the back of it. So I'm going to get that in there. Now the instructions seem to have omitted this section of putting this in, which is a bit weird. Because it actually goes in here and it looks like we should be putting a screw in there. I don't think this is going all the way through. It's going to fall out. So I'm wondering, do I glue that into place? I think I'm going to glue that into place. I've got no screw. I mean, it does hold itself, but I don't think it's in that good. I'm going to put a little bit of resin, I think. That's what I'm going to do. Just in the back of this to stop that falling out. You can glue yours in. It might have held on its own, but I don't want to take that risk. So, bit of resin. I know that's not coming out. I've got this back brace to put in now. This is plastic. Everything else is metal, but this is plastic. It's going to go over these two metal lugs just there. Once again, held in with these 4.12 screws, which I just opened from the bag. And I am going into metal, so I do put these in oil. Perfect. One there. And one here. And I've also got one screw hole just at the back here. So that brace can't come out. And we don't actually attach the last section here, because that's all there is to do in that stage. Now, just looking at the battery compartment for this, they haven't asked us to do anything with it yet, but it does require a 2025 C-cell battery. Now, I do have one of them. I'm just going to put that in now. As a matter of fact, I've got a whole box full of cell batteries. But there you go, 2025. Get that in here, and at least I know this remote control has a battery. That is all there is to do in that stage. So in the last stage here, this is stage 5, not much to do. We do have some electrics in here, plus we've got another battery to put in. We don't use the battery in the pack. We use the one that came loose, like this. Okay. So I'm going to be putting the control board into this side here, putting that battery in with that foam material, should I say, around it. So it's just looking like that. And here is this bag. This is what the bags look like, by the way. Get this open. It does make me ask the question, what's wrong with these batteries here that come in the pack? I've got no idea. But putting that to one side. So as you can see, we've got a metal side of Sabertooth's head here. We don't need that at the moment. Put that to one side. We need the one we've been working on here, where we put this bracket at the back. I've got a circuit board to go in, looking like this. The circuit board's going to go out of these holes here. So I'm putting it in this way, so you can kind of see how this is going to go there. But I do need to attach it with 2 screws here. Now that's going to be PWB screws. We've only got these screws here, and they're all black by the look of it. So I'm going to have to figure out the difference between these ones. You can see this is the challenge on the build, can't you? Okay, so some of these screws are flanged, 3 of them, and some of them aren't. That's the difference between these black ones. It's the flanged ones I want. I want 2 of the flanged ones. And screw this into place. It might have been easier to do this before I attach that back bracket, you know. But I can get an angle to get that one in there. Now, you can see my mistake straight away, that I didn't put the switch cover in. I make mistakes so you don't have to, so I'm just going to be putting that switch in, which means taking that out again. This was just a dry run. I just wanted to see how it goes in. That's what it was. That was a deliberate error. Get this one out. Okay. That's out enough for me to put this switch in. There we go. Switch is in. Put this back in. And screw this down. I thought I did something wrong there. Okay. So once again, check that switch operates. You can hear a click, so that's good. Put this ribbon cable in there. It's the smaller end here, which is going into the control board. So that's in perfectly there. And then once again, we're going to open this battery box without cutting through any wires. Getting the foam and just wrap this around the battery. Not quite sure what this does. I think this might protect it from the metal, perhaps. Don't know. Now, remember this stage that we had here? This is where this is going to go. It's just going to go into the cavity of this area here. So I'm guessing kind of like that. And then this section here is going to encase that in to stop that going anywhere. They've got this going out the back side here, like this wire. This is going to go over the top this way round. And that's going to keep that battery pack into place, as you can see. Excellent. Now this time this is held in with the not flanged black screws. And I need 2 of these, so one there and one there. Perfect. And with these 3 sections here, that is all there is to do in this stage. This is all there is to do in the pack. Now I'm guessing this side of Sabertooth's head will be going on kind of like that. I want to give you an idea of what his head looks like. There we go. It's very big compared to my hands. Let's check that out. And obviously we've got this bit to put in as well. The head that we've created has been on charge here. Don't quite know how it operates, I have to say. But pushing the button doesn't really do... Oh, there we go. If I keep my finger on the button, it turns on. So that's how that looks. So I know that's powered by itself. So I'll take it if I keep my finger on the button, it turns off. It does. There we go. So that's how that works. And there we go. Let me tell you about this build. I had no idea that most of this is metal. This is going to be a heavy model, and just the little add-ons to it, like Sabertooth, all metal as well. Absolutely brilliant. But I enjoyed that. It's only 3 stages in that one. We're going to get more stages in the next pack. Once again, check your territory if you want to see if this is available. I'll put a link in the video description and that QR code on the screen. But I really hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.